What's up, y'all? It's your boy Broadway, aka the Bubble Dinker. You see that name right there. And if you a hater of Quan Chi, I'm sorry. Cause that's all you gonna see this gameplay, baby. That's my main. I love me some Reiko. I love me some Havoc. And yeah, for this game, that's honestly just about it. But I got me about 20 minutes of Quan Chi gameplay. This is gonna be my definitive opinions slash review of Mortal Kombat 1. Before we get kicking real quick all through there, let me start out with a brief history of myself. Call me Broadway or the Bubble Dinker. Either one's fine. I am a random dude, just on the internet talking my opinions on my favorite games and movies and shit. But I just want to let you know this introduction is to clear the air that I am an OG. I'm not just some random dude who started playing Mortal Kombat around Mortal Kombat 11 or just NRS games in general. I did not play the old 2D games, but I did start in the 3D era with Deception and Deadly Alliance. Started out with Deception first. I didn't play Deadly Alliance until I went over to my cousin's crib for a night. And we pretty much played that the entire time. But yeah, I've been here for, a decent amount of time. Some will call me an OG, some won't. But I love the 3D era. What can I say? I love Mortal Kombat. And that's what we're here to talk about. We're going to go from the top straight to the bottom, just like you were looking at the menu when you boot up the game. I'm going to talk story. I'm going to talk invasions. I'm going to talk online. I'm going to talk mechanics, cameo system. And then we're going to go just in general. What I hope to see from NRS for the rest of the time that they put patches out, because they said like they're ending support, but they are going to keep putting patches out. I don't know what that means. I hope that doesn't just mean typical balance, properties of certain moves. I hope that means we're not done giving characters new moves, because I don't think that's necessarily supporting the game in a DLC type of way. I think that's just keeping up with patches. You could patch in new moves. I don't think that's a problem, but we really just got to see. So let's go ahead. We're gonna start from the top. The story. I'm gonna be honest, guys. This will probably be a hot take for the first few minutes until I get to the very end of my story part. But I really enjoyed what they were doing with the Mortal Kombat 1 story for the very most part. And like I said, I'll get to the point in a minute that I did not like. But let's start out with my positives, okay? I think Mortal Kombat 1 story is a prime example of NetherRealm having S-tier writing when it comes to character interaction and character dialogue. Character stories, individual character stories is what they're really good at. When we start trying to go big, universal, multiversal, we'll come back to that here in a little bit, that's when the writing starts to kind of fall off the deep end. And I get, in a sense, when people are Mortal Kombat has always kind of leaned in on the cheese factor and that, this and that and the third. I don't mind that in some cases, but it's just the overly fantastical stuff that once we start getting so fantastical that we can't take character death seriously, there's no stakes in the world anymore because of these things, that's when I start having a problem. But when it comes to most of the individual character work, I really love what they were doing. I'm not an OG heavy fan of Sub-Zero and Scorpion. My favorite ninja to play as is Sub-Zero, but I'm not when it comes to lore, I'm not dying over what they did to him in MK1. I love the fact that Melina, Kitana are loving sisters. I love the fact that Baraka and Reptile are not jobbers anymore. They pretty much didn't change anything with Kung Lao. Raiden is really nice, good guy Raiden. I just need to see how they're going to build to that and what's going to turn him evil. Shang Tsung is the slimiest he's ever been, and I love it. I love Quan Chi's story, him getting his soul taken, but he's so fucking evil that he just can't die because he never had a soul to begin with, let's be honest. Shao, Sindel, and Jared, I love what they did with them. And but guys, now it's time to get to the point where the story got bad, and it was this right here. Chapter 13, Deadly Alliance. I know I just got done praising Shang Tsung, and it's funny that the chapter that the story gets bad at is when you actually play as Shang Tsung. But no, that's you playing as Shang Tsung is not what makes the story go off a cliff. And it really hinges on the fact that this game's marketing was all based around the fact that Ed Boon and the team were saying that this story was supposed to get us away from the multiversal timeline bullshit. We were gonna go back to being grounded, fantastical, but grounded enough to where there were stakes, like I pretty much just said. And Mortal Kombat 1 story was doing that really well, I think, for 13 straight chapters, guys. We were riding on a fucking high. And then those last 3 chapters happen, and it just falls off a fucking cliff, man. Like, that's when we start getting to the Netherrealm writing, where it's like, why are characters doing this? Why aren't characters doing this? Why are these things happening? Why aren't other things happening? Because we just established all this other shit, and now we're like kind of going back on it, and it's just, it took a nosedive. And here's the thing that makes that shit even worse. Because of the fact that Chaos Reigns, yeah, that $50 DLC, $10 more expensive than Elden Ring Night Ring. You should go play that, by the way. Go pick it up, $40, cheaper than this was on launch. Chaos Reigns did not sell. And as much as we don't want to admit it, that and other things financially not going well with this game is the reason it's not fucking continuing. If this was singing high praises like MK11 financially, we wouldn't be seeing the shit that we're seeing right now, but unfortunately this is just how things go. And it really sucks for the story, because the way Chaos Reigns ended was holy shit fucking terrible. There's little certain things with characters that I like what they did in Chaos Reigns. And am I talking about noob? Hell no. Like, I'm really only talking about kind of Sector. Cyrax is like meh. They kind of like, they didn't really do nothing with her to really like fuck her up. Like Sector, they did just enough for me to be like, yeah, like sure, like Sector is still glazing Bihan, but I don't care. That's fine. But I say all that to say, now the fact that we were supposed to get 1 or 2 more story expansions, and now the fact that we're not getting those, that means that they have to figure out what they were going to do with the story in those and squeeze all of that into Mortal Kombat 2. All those loose ends that were probably going to be tied up within the next expansion or 2, now you're not going to see it. That's rough. And you know what else is rough? Invasions. We'll get back to the story in just a little bit. I pretty much tied all that up. I like the story, guys, but it's just those last 3 chapters, man. Like, the story was riding on an A, and that shit honestly brought it down to like a C-, damn near a D. That's how bad those last 3 chapters were. And let's go ahead and talk about Invasion, since that's the picture I had scheduled to pop up. You know, Invasions I somewhat enjoyed killing my time with for the first year of the game, pretty much before Chaos Reigns, because at that point in time we were getting new content drops, new costumes. It wasn't repeats like we're doing now. So every time a new season of Invasions came out, I would always just go ahead and run. You could clear any invasions within like 3 to 4 hours launch day, and that's usually what I would do. I would go ahead and get like some of my character masteries up with that, and learn new characters that way through invasions. And I ultimately like stuck on Quan Chi and Reiko, and there was another character name, but I'm forgetting. Fuck it, he must not be important. Havoc, sorry. Like, I stuck with those 3, but I would always use invasions to learn a bunch of other guys to just have fun. But really though, when you really think about it, when you break down invasions, it is just not fun. It's not cool. And honestly, the coolest part about invasions that they could have done a lot with, you can't even go back to once you leave it. And that's Johnny Cage's mansion. If they would have done some Capcom shit where we could have gone back to Johnny Cage's mansion whenever we wanted to, and gone to his game room, because he had a game room with arcades in it. If they would have put like MK2, UMK3, maybe 4, like, just had a couple of old school arcade machines in his game room that we could have, like, gone in and put quote unquote quarters in. Like, maybe you could put, like, seasonal currency or, like, the shrine currency into the arcade machines to play old Mortal Kombat games. That would have been cool if they could have done something with that, but instead, they literally just used Johnny Cage's mansion for the very first time you ever get through Invasions as a tutorial on how Invasions work. And you don't even fucking need that. You could have just done that with regular Invasions. And, you know, they just, I don't know. I want Conquest MK2. I just want Conquest mode. I pray to fucking God they're going to work on that. I could talk about some things they could do with it later on after I talk about the next game. But, yeah, Invasions, I give it like a D. Time killer for casuals. Easy way to just get... Oh, it is a nice way to get cosmetics that are usually locked behind ranks in Combat League that most players wouldn't typically get to. So if you don't like getting your ass whipped online, you could have gone to Invasions and gotten the skins that way and through Titan battles. That's tight. Let's move on, y'all. This right here. The cameo system. Oh, hot take alert. If you did not click off the video by now, then you are probably going to click out the video after I say this. I like the cameo system. Do I love it? No. But I do like it. And let me start from the top by saying this. Mortal Kombat is one of, if not the only, fighting game franchise that has dipped their toes into just about every subgenre of fighters. You got the classic 2D. You got the 3D era representing some Tekken type shit. And MK9 to bring back, it was like 2.5, you know, 2.5D, doing some modern stuff. And they even had a tag mode. It wasn't really fleshed out, but they had a tag mode in MK9. And now, with MK1, we got a cameo system. It's an assist-based fighting game. And, you know, most people... Look, I'm a fighting game fan. I base how I judge if I'm going to play your fighting game or not. Do you have characters that look cool as fuck and make me interested in wanting to either learn more about them and play them? And are your mechanics too complicated enough for me to actually jive with? So, like, I love Street Fighter, but the way the motion inputs are in that game, I can just never pull combos off. So I love playing and just, like, using my basic fighting game knowledge of, like, footsies and all that other bullshit to play the game. And I can, like, last and, like, survive, and I can hold my own. But you're not going to see me doing cool shit in Street Fighter. That's just the truth. But anyway, cameo system. Most people just, they want their 1v1 fighter. I've said all that shit about Street Fighter to say that I don't care what type of systems you have. I don't care if you're tag team, 3v3, whatever. As long as you have systems that mesh with my fingers well, I'm going to play your game. And like I said, as long as you have cool characters. So the cameo system for me, this is something that could have potentially turned into me loving. And let's go ahead and talk about something too. Social media. A blessing and a curse. And I think it's mostly a curse. Because let's think back to when the 3D era first started with Deadly Alliance. Social media was not the colossus that it is today. So, the backlash, and I'm pretty sure there was backlash, y'all. I can't imagine the people that were going around saying, this ain't Mortal Kombat, this shit sucks. They're trying to turn Mortal Kombat into Tekken. But they could not get on Twitter, X, Facebook, MySpace. You can get on MySpace, but it's not like they're probably going to see that shit. Like, you were not getting online, and thousands of people cannot get on and berate Ed Boon personally about how shitty the cameo system is, you know? Like, they couldn't do that back then. So when they released Deadly Alliance, it was like, oh yeah, this is trash, this ain't Mortal Kombat, what are we doing? Like, they just... Midway, Ed Boon, Tobias, and the guys at Midway were able to just keep their heads down and say, we're going to stick with our vision, we're going to keep with the 3D arena style fighter, and we're going to improve on it and make it better. And guess what? Deception came out, did Conquest mode, improve the aerial combat, improve the 3D arenas and all that type of shit. Just improve how the stage fatalities work, multiple stage fatalities in one stage. Deception was fucking awesome. And why do you think that is? It's because they stuck to their guns, they stuck with their vision, and they improved on something that they built from their first game. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see that again. I don't think we're going to be able to see that with Mortal Kombat 2 because of the backlash and because of financially how this game turned out, because nobody bought Chaos Reigns like that. I think the base game sold pretty well. I don't think anything is going to sell as well as Mortal Kombat 11 did, but you know, I think the base game did sell pretty well. It's really the Chaos Reigns pack that I think really fucked them, and people maybe not buying a lot of the skins at launch because they were charging like $10 for a single one. But yeah, I want to see the cameo system keep going. Like, if this new era of Mortal Kombat, this new trilogy, if it was supposed to be their like assist-based tag fighter trilogy, I wanted to see it. So if MK2 was supposed to, if Mortal Kombat 2 was going to be straight up tag team, but you could still kind of use the second character as an assist, like an assist type cameo, like you can here, but you can actually tag them out now, I would have jived with it. Like, it would have been building. I guarantee you, if they keep the system and they just build on it, it'll be better. And God forbid, you know, like another a pandemic doesn't happen, because we know the pandemic and Zaslav's Warner Bros, they know those two things together completely fucked Mortal Kombat 1. And so, like, God forbid that those things don't happen again. We very well, like, the next game is going to be dope, because they're going to have their normal time and like all that jazz and all the things we want. And the thing that sucks is I just want them to be able to stick with, I want them to say, fuck you guys. And this is me as a fan saying this. NRS, I want you to say, fuck you guys. We're going to stick with our vision, because we got some really dope shit planned out with this system for the next game. And then, like, if Mortal Kombat 3 came out, and I'm not saying like it would go to 3v3, but like if we were to get like, if they were going to push the system to the point of it being like MVC3 or MVCI even, like, that would have been crazy for Mortal Kombat, and I'd have loved that. But the fans just, they don't want that. They want their 1v1, and that's understandable. But NRS, you have to stick to your guns. Because I know back then when you made Deadly Alliance, you had to have had a conglomerate of fans saying like, we don't want this. Maybe it reached you guys, maybe it didn't, but I want you guys to stick to your guns. I enjoy the cameo system. It's one of those systems that is a bit janky and weird, but once you understand how the flow of it works, you can pull off some cool shit and you can have a lot of fun with it. So NRS, stick with it, man. Like, y'all can do a lot of cool shit with the system. You already are. This is one of the most combo heavy and one of the most fun Mortal Kombat games to play that you guys have released. And I just want to see you guys build on it. You know, I don't want to see y'all cower away and go back to 1v1. Because then at that point, I'm just worried if you're going to go back to 1v1, you're either going to make it too slow like MK11, or you're going to make it too fast like MKX. And I know people love Mortal Kombat X, but I'm sorry. Like, those two games I could never really fully mesh with, especially online. I always played like couch, like on the couch with friends, always like with a group of friends, MKX. People love playing that game and watching it, but when it comes to like getting online and playing against people who really give a fuck about how good they're doing and they understand the mechanics and how they were working with the game, I couldn't get into it. And then MK11 was like maybe 2% better, but that's not saying a lot. It was still too slow for me, and you couldn't do combos. I love combos. If MK11 allowed you to do combos like MK1 or X did, I wouldn't have minded MK11 being as slow as it did, as it was, sorry. But that's just the way the fucking cookie crumbles, man. Yeah, the online, I'm gonna be honest, that's the cameos. I like I don't want to know. I don't know if I'm gonna say love. I really like cameos, and I pray to God that they don't abandon cameos in the next game. That's just straight up. I only got a minute left, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. I think the online is halfway garbage. Um, a, a quarter to a half of my gaming time has probably been spent looking at these fucking trees, and that's just real. So hopefully they get the netcode and crossplay working better in the next game. The shrine is whatever. I'm not gonna complain about it too much. I wish they were adding more stuff to it. Warrior Shrine, trash. I don't give a fuck about seeing my top spot or anybody else's top spot. If you like it, cool, but I don't. I don't care. But yeah, I kind of went rambling on for a while. But yeah, man, those are my opinions on Mortal Kombat 1. Overall, I really love playing it. I don't love Mortal Kombat 1 as a whole, but when it comes to the game itself, and actually me sitting down, going through Combat League, and actually playing the game, I don't mind it. I actually love it. It's really fun. It's just not a perfect game. And NRS, I really hope you guys stick with your guns and build upon this system and don't just abandon it. All right? Not going to give you a letter grade or a number grade. I just hope that you guys have the time and nothing happens and you can give us a great game, whether it be MK2 or Injustice 3. All right? Y'all have a good night. It's Broadway/Bubble Dinker. Peace.
Rest is for vultures.
Brutality.